Hi, facilitator. Today I'm going to I'm going to answer to the question, do people think or act in a universal way? So to begin, let's say we human beings, we are living in a society characterized by unlimited human wants. But unfortunately, the resources available to satisfy these wants are limited, and this leads to one of the main economic problems, that is scarcity. Scarcity happens when resources are unequally distributed. So to tackle this issue, scholars came up with the ideas of economics. What is economics? Economics is a social science that is concerned with the allocation of scarce resources in the most effective and efficient way in order to satisfy human wants and make the society better off. So that's defined. Given the definition of economics, does it mean that we are living in a world where people always think and act in a very economic way, meaning that they are always trying to maximize a profit or to maximize self-interest? The answer of Adam Smith, who is the man who arguably found modern economics theory in the 18th century. He popularized the idea that yes, people are always trying to maximize self-interest. They are always acting economically. And during the session, you said that, like, he used the term all men. All men, meaning that it's everywhere, anyone, any continent, whether in Africa, in America, in Europe, and so on. Black people or white people, Chinese, Indian, same thing. Everyone is trying to maximize self-interest. And coming back to this question that is saying that, do people think or act in an economic universal way? I'm going to use two different concepts that we developed during the session, the first session, to explain my thought. So let's keep in mind that for Adam Smith, people are always trying to maximize, to act in an economic way, because we are maximizing interest. So we act economically. That's what economic is supposed to do, to help us maximize interest, profit, by allowing us to allocate our scarce resources in the most effective and efficient way. So I'm going to use two concepts with a note that I took during the session to explain this question. So I don't know if you can read it. My handwriting is very bad. So you have barter exchange and you have a reciprocity. So let me first define barter exchange. So barter exchange has illustrated or as explained by Adam Smith is the exchange of goods for goods with equal value of exchange. So Adam Smith popularized the idea that barter was the precursor to money. So in The Wealth of Nation, he described an imaginary scenario in which a baker living before the invention of money wanted a butcher, I don't know how to pronounce well, so a butcher's meat, but has nothing the butcher wanted. So no exchange can, in this case, it made them. So as you can see, this sort of scenario was undesirable, that society must have created money to facilitate trade, and meaning that the barter exchange during the barter exchange period, imagine life. Say you made bread but you need meat, but if the town butcher didn't want your bread, you have to find like someone who did trading until you eventually got some meat. And you can see how this gets incredibly complicated and inefficient, which is why human invented money to make it easier to exchange. So that's just to give you a brief definition of barter exchange, a brief history of barter exchange, how people came up with this concept. So these are the characteristics of barter exchange. In barter exchange, you have equivalence value. There is no relationship established. Okay, first let me explain equivalence value. Equivalence value mean that, let's say you have which example can I take? Okay, let's say you have chicken and you want banana. You want to exchange chicken for banana. So the amount of chicken, the amount of chicken you have to give to the person that is going to give you banana should be equal the value of banana you get back. So it's equal values, and I think it's continuing nowadays. Let's say you go to Spare you want to buy something, you will give the equivalent money that has the same value as the good you are buying. Let's say, I don't know, you are buying mint or you are buying Cerelac, and even if there is an extra exchange, then they will give you your exchange back. They don't keep it. So this is like 50-50 exchange. I don't get more than you, you don't get more than me. So this is the equivalent value. And no relationship established. It means that the only reason why I buy, I don't know, the meat at Superior, I give money, I go to buy something to Superior is because I need this good. So there is no interpersonal relationship. I don't have any relationship with Superior, with the staff. The only thing I want to get is my good and give them their money, and the same thing. They don't have any relationship with the customers. The only thing they want from them is to buy and leave. And also there is spot of exchange. So as you can see in that scenario, barter exchange, in the barter exchange, and we explained this in class, I don't know if you can see this. This is barter exchange. So in barter exchange, the most important is what is inside. So in that case, we are maximizing self-interest. This is one concept. I'm going to explain my thought with a second concept. and see if in reality people always think and act in economic way. And this second term is reciprocity that we also talked about during the first session. So reciprocity is a kind of the opposite. I don't know if that's correct, but I can say slightly the opposite of barter exchange. So in reciprocity, the most important is not the good that we are changed by the relationship between me and you. Let's say you need I think this is the same example. You need I need banana and you have chicken. I need banana and I have chicken. I need your banana. So I think I even took the wrong example. In reciprocity, let's say today I need banana and you has maybe my neighbor, my friend living next to me, you have banana. I will go ask you and you will give me the banana, not because you necessarily need something back from me, but because of the relationship that you have with me. So it's a service that you are providing me for free. It's like you are helping me today because of the established relationship, and maybe in the future you can help me back because I help you some days. So this is how the reciprocity works. And a good example you took during the session, the facilitator took the example of even our parents. They always send us, we have to do a lot of things. Sometimes we even get hungry. Amina, go to the shop, buy me this thing. Amina, can you provide me water to drink? Amina, can you cook for me? Amina, can you give me a massage? So all this stuff I do for my mom. And sometimes I'm even tired. I complain, I'm tired, mommy. It's like I do it because she's my mom. There is a relationship. If she's tired, she needs a massage, I will do it, but I will not exchange anything. I will not ask her for anything in exchange because I want to maintain the relationship. She's my mom. I like her. I love her. I want to give her some pleasure, to help her if she needs me. And another good example is relationship, romantic relationship. So let's say I'm with a guy, and in Africa we see this a lot and sometimes we say that African girls are materialistic, all this stuff. But a guy in Cote d'Ivoire, for example, guys, when a guy is dating you, he used to invite you maybe in the restaurant and he will pay everything. He will not ask you anything in exchange. It does this, but is not expecting you to pay him the money back. But in reality, he expecting something that is the money. The relationship that it has. It is doing this to maintain the relationship because he wants something else from you that is not an equal value. For example, your love. Maybe he wants your love, but the love is not equal the dollar he is spending a restaurant for you. So these are the two different types of change that I believe characterize humanity, whether before in the Stone Age economics or today. These are the two kind of exchange. So activity that human activity we have to survive. So now my question, to answer to the main question, do people think or act in a universal economic way? I think the answer to this question is quite a bit tricky, because before the Africa Core session, I never thought in that way about exchange of good. I always thought that, and I agreed with Adam Smith when he was saying that individual are self-interest maximizer. We are always acting to maximize our interest, our profits, everything we do. But then after the class, I realized that that's true. The reciprocity stuff. This is true, and this is so common, and we do it almost every time. When my friend come to me and take my pen, can I borrow your pen? Chantal took my pen and she never gave me back, and another day she forgot and I gave her another pen, but I never asked her something back, because she's my friend and I want to help her when she needs my help. But of course, speaking about economics, we will say, okay, maybe there is something else that I expect from her. That's the relationship. I don't want to break my relationship with her. I don't want to refuse, because I want to conceive. I want to protect our relationship that we have. But then, am I maximize something? And in the reciprocity, people never maximize. They optimize self-interest. That is the opposite of maximize self-interest. So coming back to the main question, do we act in a universal way? I'm not sure. My answer is not clear, because if we define the economy, we define economy as a social science that is concerned with allocating resources in the most efficient and effective way in order to satisfy human want and make the society better off, then should we take in consideration reciprocity as one of human action and put it in the definition of economics? If reciprocity is part of economics, then I will say all human beings, they think or act in a universal economics way, because barter exchange is already economic actions. There is no discussion about that. But I'm doubting about reciprocity. If we take it into consideration as if human being optimize self-interest, this is part of economics, then I will say yes, people think or act in a universal way. So I actually have a dualist opinion about this question. Taking reciprocity as part of the definition of economics, yes, we always act and think in a universal economic way. Or otherwise, if you don't take into in consideration, then there is a limit. It means that it's not always that we think in economic way. So yes, this is my thought about this, and I will be happy to get feedback from you. Thank you.